painting with very little water.
You think? It feels like I'm painting with a lot of water.
As you put the colors down, they're drier than what's on the paper.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. There's
Right.
not a lot of water
No,
in the paint.
no.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh. I don't. So, you look at this and you think, oh my God, why did I choose one that's got so much going on? Because I like it.
When you paint plein air, what type of subject matter do you like to paint?
Actually, there's a little one here. There's a watercolor here that I did plein air as a demo with my students.
Put it under the mirror,
Oh, sure.
just to be able to see it. No, turn the other way around. Upside down, good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was, I do teach a watercolor plein air class, and usually in the summer I have 3 oil plein air classes and 1 watercolor. This can be a little thinner here, because down here I don't want it to be quite so dark. Little over here too. Oh my God, doesn't look very good over there. Looks like a big mess.
That's your left brain talking now, you know.
I guess. Can't listen to that.
No. To us, it looks very good.
Oh,
Very,
thank
very
you.
good.
I was talking to one of my friends who also paints and teaches, and I said, oh gosh, what if I make a big mess? And she says, well, just tell them that, oh my gosh, this one's a mess, but usually I'm perfect. I said, I'll remember that. Usually I'm perfect.
CeCeile, can you tell us why you use such a limited palette? I mean, it's you only use yellow, red, and blue.
Yes.
Colors do you have?
Yeah, and the reason is that then your colors will be more unified. You're repeating the same colors throughout, you're mixing the same colors, so there's a little more unity to your painting. And also, what I find is that if you work with just a few colors, I use a warm yellow and a cooler yellow, and a warm red and a cooler red, and the same with the blues, a warm and a cool blue. And what happens is you learn to mix everything with those colors, and you really get to know exactly what color is needed. Does that make any sense? I hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it does.
But I mean, right now you just have your warm reds and your warm yellows.
Actually, yeah, I haven't really put any of the cool red in because it's such a hot sky, you know, it's really quite warm. I tried using my cooler red when I was doing one of these in the studio the other day, and it didn't seem like it was strong enough to give me that depth.
This is rough paper, right, or cold press?
It's cold press.
It's cold press.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier, that it's the 300-pound cold press. Well, let's see. Oh, geez. I wondered, what's that? It's breathing into the microphone. Can't do that, I guess. I'm going to pull out a little bit of light here. So the way I do that is I wet the brush and then dry it off and then pick up, which I'm sure most of you know about. Sometimes I get students that have never done any painting, and you have to explain all that kind of stuff.
Kind of dangerous though, too, isn't it?
You mean if they've never done any?
No, I mean if that brush is a little bit too wet.
Yeah, that's why I keep drying it off.
Right.
Yeah, clean it out, dry it off. Let's hope.
It's looking good.
How are we doing on, oh, we got time.
Oh, plenty of
I
time.
could probably finish this one. I hope. I mean, before the break.
Yeah.
Then you have to do another one after the break.
Right, I got more paper.
You wouldn't put a landscape with this, just a little something down at the bottom?
I will, yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to put an eagle in the sky?
I could. You tell me how to paint an eagle. I can just do a generic bird. But an eagle, I don't know. Okay, so I think I'll put a little bit of water down here so that my trees will soften into it. But not too much. Okay. So again, this is going to be ultramarine, cadmium red. Hope I don't run out of cadmium red. I forgot to fill this one up.
CeCeile, did you say you were working on cold press?
Yes, 300-pound cold press. Yeah. Yep. And I'll put a little yellow in this too. If I mix the red with the blue, I like to add a little yellow because then it just dulls it a little bit. It won't be too purpley. A little bluer. So here's my little foreground landscape. I want it a little bluer. It's still a little brown. It's like a hill here. Probably didn't make up enough paint. Yeah, it's hard to know. You know, you think you got enough paint, and then you find that you don't. Sometimes. like now. So now I'm going to try to make the color the same. Almost impossible.
But you wouldn't have to.
Well, I kind of like it to at least look pretty close. Huh? It's a little bit round. Could be a little thinner.
It's amazing how that brought life to that sky.
I know. It does.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably use my hair dryer and dry it and then put in the big tree that's in there.
Oh, is there a big tree in there?
There's a big tree in there, see?
Oh, there is.
See, there's a big tree.
Oh, yeah, I
over
didn't see
here.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, these little trees down here are getting a little messy, so. Sometimes I like what happens where it just kind of blends right into the
Yeah, right.
to
yeah.
the sky there. It looks like some weeds or something.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of brush are you using right now?
Oh gosh, what is this? This is a Princeton round, a 16. You know, I love the Kolinsky Sables, but I have to tell you something funny. My nephew and his wife bought out an art store's all their supplies when they went out of business, and he sent me a whole bunch of paints and a whole bunch of brushes, and they live in New Hampshire, so he spent $26 sending me this paint and brushes. And this is one of the brushes. And I find, you know, I've been always saying you had to have those Winsor & Newton expensive brushes,
Yeah, right.
but for something like what I'm doing here, this works just fine.
And those tips wear out very quickly.
Yeah. They do. Oh, I don't know what that looks like there. Okay, so maybe well, you know, I don't mean to just keep looking at the clock there, but I probably could do a little more rendering up in here and then dry it and put the tree in. Because some of this, I'm hoping it's not too dry up here, but I'd like to get a little feel for some of the, you know, a little bit of a billowy cloud feel there. Just a little. I don't like it when it starts to dry completely, so.
Looking good.
I don't want to make it too. Terry, have you ever seen me do anything like this before? You. Talking to my husband there, but he's so engrossed. I just wondered if you ever saw me do anything like this before. I don't think you have, these big wild ones. Now I got a mess here. See that?
Yeah.
What the heck am I going to do with that?
I'm
That's right.
surprised when you're spraying it like that you don't get crawlbacks.
I just got it.
Got it right there.
I can't do that well.
just got it. I think it was a little too dry, so it
Yeah,
didn't
one
just
big-
all blend.
Callbacks are-
Like I say,
So what? Are you
usually I'm perfect, but
gonna- Yeah. No, so what are you gonna do then when you're to deal with your crawlback? You're just gonna
I'm
dab it
kind
in?
of dabbing it up.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
what it's going to look like when it dries there, but I think we'll forget about that spot for now, forever maybe. I do like that, this dark blue stuff I got going
Yeah.
here, so maybe I'll try for a little more of that. I think I better leave it alone.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sometimes it's best to just learn to stop. I used to say that, well, I still say this, that you need someone to slap your hand and tell you you're done.
Well, the thing too is that once you dry it, you'll be able to fix that very easily.
Yeah. We hope.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you fix it. Okay, let's let that go. Let's see, is there anything over here? I think I'm just going to let that and dry it and see what we got. There's a little extra stuff going on right there. So now comes the hair dryer. This one,
Excuse me, I was wondering, while you're drying that, because there's a lot to dry there, we could take our break.
why don't you do that? That's great. That's perfect. Because
Yeah.
it's 5 minutes to 8. And then let's do this.
When it's fun, it's fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Okay, I think that's,
It's very nice, very nice.
this thing is kind of a mess, but, so we'll make it a bush rather than a tree, Okay, so that's going to be the foreground. And then I'm going to dry it, and then I'll put in that tree, because if this is still wet here when I put it in, then the
Oh, I know.
trunk will.
No.
I think it needs more red. The red is fading. I think it's dry enough to put the trunk in. Because all I need is it to be dry right in that spot. Oh, let's hope I can do this trunk. I'm going to use a sable for this instead of those synthetics. Boy, if your hand slips when you're doing it, it's just... So I'm going to think about that, right?